welcome back to the You Like That podcast. I'm your host on this one. My name is Jack. With me is the brainchild behind the podcast, Adam.
Oh, stop that. Yes, hello, I'm Adam. We have introduced ourselves finally.
We wanted to leave you in suspense a little bit. It's not that we forgot. It's just that we wanted to.
We definitely didn't forget.
No, it was.
We definitely didn't edit it and then have people go, "You didn't introduce yourselves."
It was so people would come back.
Exactly right. You all want to know who we were.
Absolutely
now you know.
Correct. Yes, thank you for the response to episode 1. It was really, really cool. Thank you for the screenshots. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for everything. It exceeded my expectations for sure.
There are definitely more people than I expected.
Yeah, absolutely.
After fucking one episode.
It was awesome. So thank you so much for that.
I backed that. Lovely people.
Much less serious one today, I guess, because on this one, we're doing the 2017 reboot of Power Rangers, officially called Saban's Power Rangers.
Yes.
Now, before we jump in, as I look around me in this room, there is quite a lot of original Power Rangers memorabilia.
There is some.
So I am going to assume you're fond of the original series.
We can say I'm a big fan of the original series. Grew up on the original series. Have been in love with Power Rangers since a child. Yes, do own a few signed memorabilia pieces of the original casting. You will notice there is no merchandise of any new Power Rangers.
No, yeah, there's a lot missing. So we're in that exact age bracket for Power Rangers. Like, we grew up on it.
Yes.
I don't really remember much of it, but you must.
Yeah, there was a lot there. It's a very clear, fond memory. It was back in the release of episodes on VHS. So you would get a VHS with 1, maybe 2 episodes on there. And it would be a good week. Every week Dad would come home. Here's a new episode of Power Rangers. Fucking mint. Love that.
And it was sort of known for like how blown out and over the top and silly it was.
It was just standard 90s classic cringy
Monster of the Week, rubber suits.
All it was no crazy effects, yet the effects they used were, I guess you could say, big in that era of time.
Yeah.
But it was just corny, cheesy.
Lots of flash pots, like the smoke and then sparks.
Yeah, a lot of just let's do a jump in the air and somehow that registers as a kick and a devastating blow to our enemy.
Oh yeah, none of the punches or anything actually landed.
No, they never connected. No, they never connected.
And all the action was just stolen from a Japanese TV show, and then they railroaded the American high school stuff in, as far as I know.
Pretty much, that's basically how it went down.
All right. None of that matters because this movie doesn't give a fuck about any of that. So today we're talking about Dean Israelite's Saban's Power Rangers from 2017. So this one, it came out at around, I remember it dropped with like nothing else. It just kind of came out, kind of came and went. The studio didn't seem too confident about it. No,
it was the original news that broke out of a new Power Rangers movie in development coming out. There was no big talk of who's going to be in it, what the plan is for it. Just, hey, you remember Power Rangers? Well, here's a new reboot movie to kick it all back off again.
Here's a logo, wait 8 months.
You go, oh yeah, logo, sick. And then nothing. And then here's the standard, teaser trailer. You're like, oh yeah, I see difference.
Something in it.
I see something not like Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But
correct.
It's a trailer. We can work from there.
So it had a budget of $105 million. That's pretty standard, I guess. For a bigger action movie, it's quite low. But for a Power Rangers movie, it's what you'd expect. Yeah. The box office only raked in $85 million. So that's what we call a flop, boys.
It is a flop.
I looked up, any ratings I look up ever are just going to be Rotten Tomatoes, just disclaimer. I don't know if that's like the Wikipedia of movies. Like
I think it's realistically that is the main source of ratings.
I go to it because there's 2 numbers. There's the Rotten Tomatoes, which is critics.
Yep.
This one was 50%. Ooh.
Dead in the middle.
Ooh.
All right.
But the audience was 65.
65. You can understand because it's more people coming up from their childhood being like, look,
some people liked it. Yeah, some people were like, this is what we have. Maybe the next one will be good. Maybe. But alas, that next one was never to be because they're already rebooting it again.
Yes. So I followed this religiously after this movie came out. When it did come out, at first I saw it at the cinemas and I liked it. I did like it because I think I was just caught in the trip of nostalgia of it's Power Rangers, it's new, and it's been given a budget, so it's not the old corny shit I'm used to. So I kind of liked it, and then I just got religiously involved in it, and looking to see, when's the sequel going to be coming out? What's the plan for it? And all this, and then as the weeks passed on, the reviews came in, the box office tallies came in, and then I start thinking about the movie again, being like, yeah, you know what, it wasn't that good of a movie, was it? And after a couple of months of speculation and that of if there is actually going to be anything further on this series due to how poorly it did perform, you get the news that Saban himself had sold his rights once again to Hasbro and cancelled all plans of a future series. And they did have original plans with Lionsgate to produce 5, 6, or 7 movies. That's now all in the bin.
It's gone. Because
now Hasbro own the rights, and as you said, another reboot is on its way with Paramount Pictures.
Yeah. And with Hasbro being involved, I'm not confident.
Yeah. You just give a toy company some rights to something and they go, all right, how can we make more toys?
Just watch a trailer for any of the Transformers movies and your confidence will be shot.
Basically.
But this Power Rangers movie, I'll just give you a quick brief of the plot in case you forgot, because it's an incredibly forgettable movie.
Yep.
5 misfit teenagers from high school, all in their early to mid-20s. They stumble across an alien rock formation. These coin things give them powers. And then, of course, from that, they discover they're part of a bigger picture, a bigger alien invasion. It's all happening very conveniently right now when they found it.
Correct.
Couldn't have happened, 6 days before they found it.
No. It falls into place very well.
But they all come from sort of like, broken homes, or they have their own problems and stuff, which was quite interesting. I thought they were going to go a bit more into that, because they have to overcome their own demons and then overcome this also giant alien threat. They're all sort of loners and renegades and stuff, and they have to learn to work together and become a team of Power Rangers. None of that really happened.
Boy.
So, Adam, you liked it? You liked that? Fuck it. I already forgot.
Look.
I was going to try and jam that.
Yeah, we have to jab that in there. I think, look, honestly, I didn't expect to come into the podcast now so early of me actually not liking something. I thought this was going to be very far down the track of me not liking something and you maybe liking it. But we've gone episode 2. I don't like it. I rewatched it last night just to get it fresh, because I only watched it the once at the cinemas because of, well, if you've seen it, you understand why I only saw it once at the cinemas. And I just don't like it. I can't go full into it yet. I just don't like it.
I have not thought about this movie. I watched it yesterday, and I have not thought about it.
You can't think about this movie
because it's just nothing.
There's nothing to think about.
It's not a Power Rangers movie for a start.
It's not a Power Rangers movie. So that's why I'm excited on this, to hear how you thought about this movie compared to myself, who grew up on Power Rangers and knows a lot about them and where the differences lie with me. So from a Power Rangers fan, I don't like this. I like very, very small, tiny parts in the movie that don't affect anything other than, oh yeah, that was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah.
But not as a movie as a whole.
If they called it if they were guaranteed a franchise and they called this one Dawn of the Rangers or something, not straight up Power Rangers, all the trailers have them in their suits and stuff. Because what I'm alluding to is you see one of the Ranger costumes for 4 seconds.
Yes.
in the middle, and then at the hour 30 mark of a 2 hour and 3 minute movie, they all transform and become Power Rangers.
And that's the part that just fucks me in the head. It's just there's too much origin for a reboot movie.
And they don't have the chemistry that the filmmakers thought they had.
No.
They are quite good together. Individually, I think they're all pretty good. Together, they're fine. It's kind of hard to believe that they're like...
In a movie like this where you have a larger group of people coming together to, stop a greater evil, some bullshit like that, you expect those group to really blend like a family.
Yeah.
I did not feel family in this group at all. Even at the points where, I can't even say points. There's minimal points where they needed to come together really to be a family in this young group of kids trying to defend the earth. You just don't get that. It's just 5 angsty teens that just basically all in detention coincidentally together. And because
usually the structure of one of these movies is like there'll be a bit of an origin and then there'll be a fight or something in the middle.
Yeah.
Like an action sequence in the middle where they lose and then they have to go back later, and then there's the bigger action sequence at the end. The action sequence in the middle of this is the villain just kind of confronts one of them and then confronts all of them, but they're not Power Rangers. She just like locks them up and then lets them go. So they don't have that middle climax which raises the stakes.
No, you just get...
There's no fucking stakes in this movie. There is no drama.
Stake. They go, they're trying to get this crystal and it'll fucking destroy the earth.
Okay, that's simple. I like that.
That's a point.
Yeah.
But no one else fucking knows about it.
No.
It's literally just these 5 kids, this talking robot, and Bryan Cranston's face on the wall.
Yeah.
And obviously Rita being the main villain are the only ones that know about this fucking Zeo crystal that is underneath a Krispy Kreme. Out of all places, it has to be a Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
Product placement at its finest, I believe.
I was okay with them saying Krispy Kreme because I was like, okay, that's real life, but fuck me, do they hammer it in. They must have had a contract like you have to say it this many times.
Yeah.
Because Jesus Christ, they say it so many times.
It's too much Krispy Kreme.
It's just too much.
And so you get that, and there's no real threat to Angel Grove at all because no one fucking knows that the Earth is technically in trouble.
Yeah.
All they know is that, there's this big weird-ass gold monster in the middle of this one street. It's not like a massive city sort of thing. No. It's just like...
Yeah, the street's barely
street,
populated, yeah.
There's nothing there, but then coincidentally at the end of it, there's a lot of people on the street by the end of it. You're like... Sorry, just a Facebook tweet or something go out being like, there's fucking shit going on down at Krispy Kreme. Why don't you go check it out?
And then of the 6 people that the monster's threatening, one just happens to be one of the Power Rangers' dads. Just so they could have that little moment.
Which, the same dad from Brightburn. If anyone's seen Brightburn.
One of my notes is he's the exact same
He's the exact same guy.
Like
I recently watched that movie. I watched Brightburn recently and I'm like, it's a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
And you get here and I'm like, holy shit, it's the same dad. He's a bit of a dick.
He's doing the same thing.
He's the same dad. You're just a shit dad.
He's trying to get a point across by being stern, but you're just a bit of a knob.
Yeah. It's like, you're just a dick. Just, okay, take a step back.
Anyway, so the movie starts, we sort of get everyone's individual introductions, sort of. Some of them are just kind of brushed over as like a girl in the distance. And then she's just there as part of the group.
Yeah, you're not really given like a proper individual look into every character. It's like you get Dacre Montgomery's character, Jason Scott, who being the Red Ranger is the leader of the Ranger, ideally is always going to get the main spotlight. So you get him, obviously, at the start, know exactly about who he is. Jock, footballer, toughish.
Heart of gold.
Yeah, heart of gold sort of guy.
Nice guy.
You get that, and then you get Billy Cranston, played by R.J. Cyler, who, he was probably one of the greatest.
He's good.
One of the greatest people in this movie.
He's really good. I really like him.
Acting-wise, was fucking brilliant.
Because that sort of when someone writes a character on the spectrum into a movie, it's usually really fucking insulting.
Yeah.
Like, they play it up and they're like, blah, 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 I'm...
Yeah, they
And
really...
it's like, that's not what being on the spectrum is.
Yeah, no.
Whereas this guy, he had his little ticks and his tweaks. And
he was funny.
Yeah, he just rides the line of being annoying and being sort of respectful to the people on the spectrum.
Yeah, 100%. And he's just funny. He's just
funny. He has a
great bit of
lines.
comedic relief.
Yeah,
where it's like you feel for this this character of being on the spectrum, but you sort of forget about it because of these little witty remarks that he makes, and you think he's kind of annoying, but he's just cute.
Yeah, he's just like,
adorable.
It's just him.
Like,
he's right.
He's just fucking adorable. He's just a bit of a nerd.
Yeah. I don't remember any of the names. I'm sorry. I don't.
That's all right. I can do that. So you had
who's the Aladdin girl? Kim.
So the Aladdin girl is. It's an issue when even I don't fucking know.
This movie is so fucking forgettable. It's insane.
I'm gonna have to quickly look it because I believe that she's playing Kimberly Hart.
Anyway, so two of the main actors in this movie, which didn't help the franchise, got really fucking famous after this. Like she went on to be in Aladdin, whatever her name is.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So
Naomi
Scott, yeah. So she plays Kimberly Hart.
Yeah, she went on to be in Aladdin, massive movie. She's going to have a career after that.
Yeah.
Dacre Montgomery went into Stranger Things, definitely going to have a
killed
career.
that role, and obviously just the main point I'll put out there, the dude was in a Make Them Suffer video. So for all our metal fans out there,
shout out Australian Metalcore.
Shout out Make Them Suffer, Old Souls, bang a track, good video, starting point with Dacre Montgomery. Let's move on from that.
Thanks in fucking Power Rangers 2017.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can forget about that one.
Yeah, so they all sort of get introduced, and then they just kind of stay together the whole time.
Yeah.
Sort of reluctantly. You don't know if they want to or not.
No, it's a really like...
It's just not clear.
No, they sort of... A lot of them, they're ending up together at a bit of a coincidence sort of point where for some reason 5 kids all want to hang around this fucking mining dam.
Quarry, yeah.
In an empty quarry with fucking construction shit going on, and they just happen to be there all at the same time when they blow up this rock and end up finding the power stones.
And the security are like the LA riot squad. They come like screaming in with cars. It's just like this massive action sequence. I was just like, quarry security?
Yeah, that was quick. Whew.
That might have been a joke that I just missed, but I was just like, is this really this stupid?
Yeah.
It might be this stupid. Like, this movie's just stupid.
There's so much stupidness to this movie. I'll just briefly say, I'm pretty sure we can just say, we're not giving you a spoiler warning for this movie either. Anyway,
don't watch it.
Because basically, either you've watched it because you're a Power Rangers fan and wanted to watch it, or you're going to listen to this podcast, you're still not going to watch it. We don't want you to watch this movie. I'm telling you as a fan, don't watch this movie. Just listen to us talk shit about it because it's a shit movie.
So a big problem with this is it doesn't know who it's for.
No.
So it's directly targeted at the young audience, Twilight, Maze Runner, Hunger Games market.
Yes.
It's shot exactly like that. It's told exactly like that. When there's an emotional beat, there's a big American slow cover of Stand By Me. It's like you're feeling things. You have to be sad.
Yeah.
You're a young teenager. High school's really hard. But the older Power Rangers fans are going to hate that because we're going to be like, this is just cheesy schlock.
Yes.
And younger Power Rangers fans are not going to see any Power Rangers, and they're going to be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
A kid would be like, Mum, you full-on wasted my time.
So the way I look at it as, who this is sort of targeted for is like, it's really not targeted towards any form of Power Rangers fan.
No.
So you had the original kids like myself who, grew up on that first original series of Power Rangers, which, as those series were back then, was like 60 episodes long for series 1.
Yeah.
Most people would watch probably the first series, the second and maybe third, and then they're a bit older, going into, almost maybe high school and shit or whatever, getting out of that phase because, they've got to be, bigger people now and get into what's cool. Power Rangers back then was still targeted as younger kids.
Yeah, and the studio behind this movie pray that people like me and you don't watch it because we're going to be like, this is fucking garbage. And then do a podcast and I'm going to say this is fucking garbage.
Exactly right.
So they want that in between.
They're trying to find it in between, but it's so hard to get that in between because it's such a specific movie of a franchise that it was only catered to a specific group of people.
Exactly.
So you had the younger ones, and then you have the young kids now, because the series is still going, they're still moving on to new story arcs and all that. Those kids are still too young to know what this reboot is about.
Exactly.
And because of how different it is, they're not even going to understand it as Power Rangers to begin with. And so there's no actual fan of Power Rangers that should be watching this. It'll be people like us who know the original ones and want to get that nostalgic hit.
Yeah.
Which you don't get.
No.
At all.
and like the young adult market, it's the phone generation, right? So you need something happening like all the time. This doesn't have that.
No.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of nice moments between the people, but like teenagers' eyes are going to glaze over. You need something happening. You need something flashy.
There's not enough happening in it. And it's apparent by, like the blatant timestamps in this movie of when bigger events happen. So you expecting a Power Rangers movie to see Power Rangers fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the opening scene starts off with just shit that I didn't expect to see.
It looked like Prometheus.
It looked like a poor man's Prometheus in coloured suits. So you have Zordon and his team, Zordon being the big guy on the wall, played by Bryan Cranston, the sort of leader of recruiting the Power Rangers in the original series and such. He's the Red Ranger himself. And again, this is a type of movie where you don't know why shit's happening straight away, but there's some fight going on. It's on Earth, and you see the Green Ranger is Rita Repulsa, which doesn't make sense at all. And Zordon calls on Alpha 5 to bring out a meteor to kill them, to stop Rita from destroying the Earth, I'm guessing. And you have that quick glimpse of them as the Rangers and then turn into aliens. Straight up Prometheus aliens. And you're just going,
where the fuck did that come from?
I'm sorry, like, in the original series and that, we've had a lot of monsters, alien-looking creatures, but never like that, where you were like, hold on, is this Alien? Am I watching like a shit spin-off of Alien or something?
Yeah, where is this going?
Make sense.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening here? And then you're like, okay, this is an origin story. We know we're going to get them finding out that they're Power Rangers. You don't expect it to be 40 minutes until you see one of them, just one of them, in their suit for 3 to 4 seconds.
It's just
by
a
accident.
visual gag, yeah.
And it's completely by accident.
Yeah.
Because for them to morph, they have to feel it.
Yeah.
They got to feel them more.
Oh, it's so saccharine.
And I'm like,
And that's another problem with this. Like, it's so po-faced, and it should be campy. It should be silly as hell. It should be goofy. Like, when it tries to be goofy, it's just annoying. Like, when they're jumping out of the chasm and stuff like that. And if you want it to be a realistic movie, they wouldn't do that. The characters wouldn't do that. But if you want it to be Power Rangers, they should be like, whoa, and do like Naruto hand symbols or some shit, and then like do a cool flip over.
Something dumb and
it
stupid.
It has to be more stupid. This movie had to be more stupid.
Generally, you don't tend to want to say that about a movie.
Absolutely not.
You don't want a movie to be stupid, but this needed to be.
And it is stupid. Please don't put me on record as saying this movie isn't stupid. It's not campy. It should be campy. And that's the saving grace. Well, it's not the saving grace because it doesn't fix the movie. Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa is perfect towing that line because she is ridiculous. Her performance is ridiculous. Yeah, and I was like... And when I was watching her, I was like, this is what it should have been. Because she's really hamming it up and chewing the scenery.
I can give that as being on the right track to where this movie could have gone to.
For this movie, I'm not comparing it to the campiness of the old one.
Definitely completely different to the original Rita Repulsa. But for the plans of making this reboot, her as Rita Repulsa and how they portrayed her and how she really gave that performance was perfectly on the line of where that movie should have been going as... That I wouldn't have changed.
No. All
She
her
did kill
monologues and stuff when she's like threatening the kid. When she's in that gold shop and she's like doing the weird moves and her face
Just
is
like
all
some
weird.
random ass junkie on the street that
And
just
she's
wants
like-
a bit of fucking
Yeah,
gold.
and she's like shoving necklaces into her mouth and stuff. I was like, this is great.
yeah. The only
She is great.
just the one part that I would want to take away is when she's found in the bottom of the ocean and she's all shriveled up and disgusting looking in the fishnet.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, it was weird.
ooh, bit nightmarish.
Gonna scare kids.
Gonna scare kids.
It might
There
even
goes that
scare the younger
demographic.
teenagers.
Look, I was a bit shocked when I
Yeah.
saw it. I was like, ooh.
And then they have that first where Zordon sort of shows her as the Vision and it's
Yeah.
like jump scares and stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
if I saw this when I was 14 in a theater, I would have shit my pants.
Yeah, I think it really sort of like split the tone of the movie.
And that's going back to the tonal. It's just all over the place. Tone.
Yeah.
It
'Cause you're like,
doesn't know what
okay,
it wants to be.
Is this going to be a more darker type of
It's an
movie?
identity crisis of a movie.
Yeah, which is like you could have had that. You just portray on that and lead with that as her being a more evil and very demonic-y type of witch.
Yeah,
and it would have worked. But yeah, just those original nightmare visions and that, and just seeing her shrivel up, and then the subtle jump scares. I'm just like very scared.
Yeah, and then you see her later like hammering it up, doing a monologue, like moving all weird, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
well, is she the scary lady from before? Or is she this like
Exactly right.
theater, like
The moment she gets like in, fully resurrected, I guess, and has her green suit and all that, and her golden staff. I'm like, all right, we can settle now. She's set.
she can just be the villain.
Evil
Just-
looking.
Yeah.
Now she can just be the villain. Play it right. Good. We'll play on that. And she was brilliant. It was brilliant to do the rest of it.
I'm just a big fan of her already, so I'm a bit biased because I think she is one
Yeah,
of the funniest,
she's
one of the
brilliant
funniest
actress.
humans in the
She
world.
is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other big point is Goldar. So Goldar just fucking ruins me.
Just big CG, goopy, not interesting looking
Like,
mess.
I understand it's hard to bring across from the source material the type of villains that we had in the original series to try and make something fresh and new for this reboot. But I think just creating this complete golden weird mess.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything.
It honestly, because I can see the brief outline of Goldar, the wings, the overall shape and stuff is there, but it's so hard to differentiate when you are so used to seeing just this winged golden wolf creature in the original series to now just being, he was never there, he was just raised up from all this gold and is now just this colossal golden winged creature whose only job is to reach down into Krispy Kreme, blow out a crystal.
That's
all he
very
serves.
important. Crispy Kreme.
Again, we're giving Krispy Kreme some fucking free advertising now.
Yeah.
It was just to pull out for Krispy Kreme. And it's just these little villain things where it really brings it down for me because a big part of Power Rangers is their villain presence.
Yeah.
And
just interesting design. Like, even though they were silly rubber costumes, they were silly rubber costumes with love put into them.
Exactly.
And, like, they looked,
it gave them character.
yeah.
It made them individual.
Yeah. And
The
the,
issue,
the putties in this are just like some rocks.
Yeah.
I don't
Look,
understand.
I could honestly be fine with if they
and there's only
made
like
the
two of them.
putties, if they made the putties something else, because obviously in the show they were just guys in fucking
Morphs.
grey fucking tight suits with this weird ass face and loose fucking gardening gloves.
Listen to our mood change talking about the original
So
series.
it makes me happy talking about this old shit. That was so fucking stupid. It made no sense. And I'm happy if they didn't bring those back in for this. But you don't change from that to rocks. It
Just
doesn't
rocks.
fucking work, man.
Just rocks. I don't. Yeah, it was very strange, and it's not like they're not threatening. The putties aren't threatening at all
No,
because they're
no.
like roughly the same height as the Power Rangers, and
Yeah,
there's about 6 of them.
yeah, exactly. The putties back then, they just appeared out of nowhere and they just went.
Yeah.
That's the best part about the putties. It's just the noises that just. You don't get that here. You just get a bunch of rocks moving around, not making any fucking noise at all.
Yeah, Goldar doesn't make any noise. He just
Goldar doesn't do
stomps around.
nothing. Goldar in the shows is, we will defeat the Power Rangers once and for all. Brilliant. Now you just get him just walking.
They
down
should
the street.
sprinkle some of that in.
Needed
Like,
something.
You can have your po-faced serious movie, but like Elizabeth Banks is doing. Elizabeth Banks? Jesus Christ.
Yes,
I was just saying it.
You got it.
It's very late at night. It's very late at night.
It's no excuse.
Like she sprinkles in the camp every now and then, and it's perfect. Like you could have done that with Goldar as well. Like you could have made him do something stupid. I don't know.
Could have been
stub his toe on a building or something.
They really just try to make it like Rita was the only villain who was trying to, take over the earth and that.
And she's not that threatening.
And if they're really looking at the plot of this movie, and before they all get cancelled and that, let's say their future endeavors were to bring in more villains from in the original series, like Lord Zed, who was the overruler, overlooked Rita and all that.
Yeah.
You got to think, by them doing this iteration, how will they then bring in others? Because then it's just going to completely change the game again.
Yeah.
And it's going to be completely different again.
You've already threatened the entire world with the core of the Earth.
Exactly right.
The crystal was.
So
you can't really raise that.
Because then it's like, even with the ending of this movie, how it ended, I still struggle to think of how this movie would then progress.
Yeah.
Because in the original series, they never defeated Rita in the first series. After 60 episodes and countless waves of monsters, she was still there.
Yeah. And
then it escalated to newer villains. Lord Zed came into the equation and all that. And the Power Rangers were still going, still fighting to defend the Earth. This, which was a big part of my notes, were... So at an hour and 30 minutes, 5 seconds, you get the full Power Rangers in their suits for the first time.
Finally.
An hour and 30 fucking minutes.
It's insane. It is one of the most baffling choices in a movie I've ever seen.
Because
guaranteed. I've seen a lot of fucking movies.
When you look at the timestamp and you go, all right, so it's taken an hour and 30 to get into it, to get them into their suits finally, and then you see that there's only half an hour left.
I could not believe it.
You've gone, ooh.
I thought something was wrong with the stream or something. I just couldn't believe that there was only going to be 30 minutes of Power Rangers.
That's what you had time for. And you're like, okay, well, obviously, because there's going to be like a little couple minutes at the end there where, after it's done, the story, the plot's done, it's going to die down and fizzle out into whatever's going to be next. So it drops it even more, and you're like, there's not a lot of time. And even at this point, Rita hasn't even executed a plan properly yet. She hasn't even raised Goldar at this point. She's just about to.
Yeah.
So you're an hour and a half. You finally got them in their morph suits. They're now the Power Rangers. And I say that, and I hate saying it, because I look at them all and I've gone, you're just miniature Transformers.
Yeah, but even before you go on with that, even within the context, even within the rules of this movie, they had 11 days.
Yes.
Right? And the point of the movie is, they haven't been ready for 11 days.
Yes.
Why did you do that? You can have them not ready for 6 days, and then they're ready to go and they face something, I don't know, on the 6th day.
Yeah.
And then on the 11th day, they're ready to go against Rita.
Yeah.
It makes no sense for them to not be ready until...
A lot of it just doesn't make sense.
It's like forced stakes. It's like, you have to be anxious about this.
Yeah.
But you're not anxious because you've just sat through an hour and a half of fucking nothing.
Exactly right. And when you get to that point of finally seeing them, you don't even get any satisfaction out of it.
No.
You're not satisfied to actually see them now as the Power Rangers, because you've had so much to take in this initial 90 minutes where you're just going, yeah.
You just don't care. There is no stakes.
There's nothing yet.
No.
And it comes to fruition where they go out, they take on a couple putties. Being rock monsters, they just keep coming back up from the earth. Seems like they're never ending. And then they get their Zords. I have a big issue with the Zords as well.
Because they look like fucking garbage. The green screen.
Like
when it shows the front of the Zord and their face is just like green screened in, it was so funny.
It's there, and it's like the original Zords looked great, and they could still look great now.
Yeah.
Because they were blatant dinosaurs. And it made a whole lot of sense. when you look at them now, I know it's trying to be modern, and I hate that I'm always referring back to the source of the original show. But when you are trying to modernize something too much and it takes away everything from the original and the original source, you just get a mess.
There was no point in us as Power Rangers fans, to watch it.
No.
Because like you said, it's a Transformers movie.
And that's what these fucking swords look like. You look at them and you go on, I can see a little bit of color on each one of them. I can kind of make out what they represent, but it's a muddled metal mess.
Yeah, and the CG, like, they move sort of in slow motion, and it's that Transformers problem where you can't follow it.
Yeah, because you're just watching this blur of metal colors move around and apparently hit something.
And you try, like, when you're watching a movie, you do everything you can to be in that movie and believe that this movie is happening.
Yeah.
But they just look so stupid. The CG looks so stupid in this little town with 6 people running around scared underneath them.
And obviously you can tell that there was probably an issue with the budget for this movie when they get into their Zords and they lift up their face mask.
Straight away.
The whole time they're in their Zords, they're not full helmets.
Although I'm glad they did that, because they give the Power Rangers helmets lips that don't move.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of lines of dialogue when they're in the helmets with the lips not moving, and I was just like, I'm so uncomfortable.
I know that. That's fine because it resonates to the original source where they did have that. Granted, the lips weren't as prominent in the original helmets.
These are like
they were
thick.
Still there. These were thick, boy, like Kardashian injected, fucking ready to suck some dick lips.
Yeah.
But it still took away from the whole time that they're doing that, and they're not really any hand-to-hand combat fighting. I'm not looking at Power Rangers because
their
helmet's up and they're just showing their faces. So it's like, well, they're just sort of wearing a superpower space suit.
Yeah.
In individual colors.
Yeah.
And it's like,
they're not doing anything with them because they're sitting in a fucking giant robot.
Exactly right. They jump into the fight too quick. Like, they give them the hand-to-hand combat for 2 minutes of them fighting a couple of putties. And you're like, all right, that's cool. That's straight up Power Rangers shit.
When you do see the costumes, do you like those costumes? Do you like these costumes?
No.
Okay.
Oh, fucking hard.
I don't like the design. It's too much.
I don't.
It's like if you gave Iron Man just fucking lights and everything everywhere, as opposed to just his chest.
The colours are fine. I'm fine with the colours. The colours make sense. It's fine. It shows who they are. But yeah, the overall design is too alienistic. It's too muddled.
And then it goes back to budget as well, because it zooms, like, if you see their hand or something, they're just wearing like bike gloves that are painted.
Yeah.
And it just looks...
It's so more of a nano suit than anything. It's not an actual suit. And
it reminded me of Crisis. Remember that game, Crisis?
Yeah, very Crisis-y. And yeah, so the whole time I'm watching this fight happen, it's like, you're not looking at Power Rangers fighting because the Zords look like shit. Goldar looks like shit, and you shouldn't even be a worthy opponent anyway. And then the big part of the Power Rangers and the Zords is coming together, making the Megazord, who is just a Transformer.
Yeah.
You don't
Not a particularly interesting looking one either.
No, it's literally just a stationary robot.
Yeah.
Like, it has no distinctive features.
And he has no purpose because he just, like, trips Goldar over and that's how they win.
Yeah, if anything, you'd think, well, he's only taking on Goldar. Shouldn't just 5 individual Zords
you can do that.
Handle this?
Yeah.
That should be fine.
And it's just a woman, like, just squash her.
He's not putting up much of a fight, but okay, let's put the Megazord together to try and appease the fans and not actually have any characteristic features about him. You barely see any individual parts of their Zords come together to create the Megazord.
My theory is that none of that was in it, and then halfway through, like, the production, they learned that there wasn't going to be a sequel, so they were like, fuck, we have to put this fan service in. We have to put the Megazord in. We have to put the Zords in. We have to get rid of Rita altogether, otherwise it's not a satisfying ending if it's just a standalone movie, which it is.
Yes.
So then they fucking scrambled. They went to the VFX and they were like, holy shit, please put something together.
Oh, yeah, they got down on all fours and just went, whatever you need to do, just do it.
Just do it.
You fucking need something to
So then you get about 3.5 minutes of Megazord very slowly running towards Goldar.
Yeah.
And then he sort of, like, suplexes him, and that's it. And like, there's only probably, I don't know if I counted. I counted in my head, but I didn't write it down. There's literally only about 4 wide shots of Megazord.
Yeah.
And then the rest is what you were saying before. It's just like cutting to the faces.
Yeah.
Of just like them saying stupid, dumb shit and like...
All trying to control different parts together.
Which goes back to my point of there being no stakes, because you're like, well, what is even happening? You're just watching teenagers talk to each other on a mobile phone, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
I don't want to watch that.
You're not given any reason to sort of think that they're not going to win or that there's any chance.
There is no... Yeah.
You know, instantly like, well, they're going to stop them.
Yeah. Even when they fall into the fire, you're just like, okay, like, they're going to get up. It's fine. They're not going to kill them all at the end of this movie.
That's not how this goes. Probably be a better movie if it did.
And before all that, they have the nerve to put the original theme song in when they're running in the Zords. They're just like... And that was another... That's what made me feel like in the edit, they were scrambling and they were like...
Yeah,
put the song
more
in,
fan service.
It'll look cool in the trailer and fans will go, okay.
And then but see, this is where they completely fucking rub it in your face, is the ending where they defeat Golda and Rita and they're looking out, all the townspeople are, somehow so many of them come out and all like, it's that standard like street chatter of just...
Everything is fucking destroyed. Where are all the corpses? Like, many people must have died.
No one's fucking dead. And then they have the hide to just put in the original Pink and Green Ranger, Amy Jo Johnson and Jason David Frank as random Angel Grove citizen bystanders who just lift up their phones and that cringy smile go, oh, no, no. Take photos and you're like, Okay, they put them in their colours. So they gave Jason David Frank green shirt, put Amy Jo Johnson a pink jacket. You're like, all right, you're reaching for the fucking stars now.
I didn't notice that. I did not notice that. And I guarantee most people didn't.
If people got that far without rolling their eyes and shit and thinking how much of a pathetic fight that was, may not have noticed it. But they put it in frame perfectly just so people who knew them go, oh, look, it's the originals and shit. And you go, yeah, but why?
Why?
You really just wanted to throw a bit of fan service in there.
So much of this movie is just why? Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Why is this bit in it?
You can get away with movies throwing in fan service.
Yeah, of course.
If it's a good movie.
Of course.
But not when you have to rely on fan service to have a good movie, which didn't fucking happen anyway. And it
was just one final reach. Like, okay, we've got to give these people 10 grand each to show up on set for a day.
Yeah.
And hope fans will be like, okay, that's fine, they're there.
Yeah.
And the movie ends. They just throw Rita into space and she, Team Rocket.
They slap Rita into space.
Like Team Rocket and she floats through space. It looks so fucking
blasting
stupid.
off again and then just freezes in fucking Earth's atmosphere above in the sky.
Your big Earth threat just got swatted away.
Done, she's gone.
I suppose that's meant to be funny, but it's just annoying because it's like...
Yeah, it wasn't fun. I didn't laugh at all. I just did it. And they try to make that joke of, you just slap her?
Yeah.
And like, I did.
But it's kind of just like, yeah, fuck you, audience. Like, you sat through all of that just for this to happen.
Yeah. The way...
That line is them saying, you sat through this.
That was them slapping Rita out of the sky, but also slapping the audience in the face, being like, ha, you thought you were getting a good fucking reboot.
Hope you enjoyed the last 20 minutes, because that's all you get.
And that's what it was. So the way I put down the ending was, from when you get them morphing into their Power Ranger suits finally, you have 20 minutes of Power Rangers. That is all the time you get of the Power Rangers doing shit that makes sense in a movie. And you get them, they defeat Rita, they defeat Golda, everything's all hunky-dory, and then that's it. Jason goes back to Zordon, says, we defended this, we did good. If time comes, we'll come back and we'll know to help again.
Yeah, yeah.
You've created Power Rangers to work for 20 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah. Put
it down, wash our hands, they're done.
But even then, within the rules of the movie, again, they shouldn't even exist. Like, there is no way Zordon would have sacrificed himself to let just a random kid he doesn't like or know live.
Yeah.
Like, Zordon is obsessed with coming back to life.
Because he understands. He's one of the few people that understands the threat of Rita.
Yeah.
And what is possible, obviously, because they're fucking aliens.
But then he sees, they're a bit sad about their dead friend, and he's like, oh, no, I won't come come back.
Yeah,
But
and
it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
He just wouldn't do that.
No. How did you find Bryan Cranston's performance as Zordon, though?
Well, it was the easiest paycheck of his life.
Without a doubt.
He just yelled a couple of times.
Yeah.
But not even a good Heisenberg yell like he does in Breaking Bad.
No, minimal Heisenberg was
Bryan Cranston can yell, but he doesn't yell in this.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You can barely tell it's him.
Yeah, it was pretty stock standard, as a face on the wall would be. You shouldn't expect much from it anyway. So
Bill Hader dips in and out of his own voice to remind you that it's Bill Hader.
Yeah. So,
I am the biggest Bill Hader fan in the world, and he annoyed the fuck out of me in this movie because he was just not consistent at all.
I don't know. I love Bill Hader. He's fucking one of the greatest humans in the world. He's so
especially right now. He's on a streak.
100%. And when I see him as Alpha 5, I'm like, yeah, okay, Bill Hader's that annoying guy that could play an annoying robot. Makes sense. And I did enjoy his performance as Alpha 5, but I do agree there were very annoying parts.
And he looks shit as well. Like, the CG was terrible. The design was terrible.
It is very... But again, it goes back to the original was just a person in a very, very robotic suit with a flying saucer as a head. I can understand that they still need to change it, but you made a little pot-belly alien.
Yeah.
With, like, a planet.
Yeah, he's got, like, a beer belly.
Yeah, he has fucking pot-belly, bad posture. And he does have lines that are funny, and they do call back, they do give more fan service when they're in their training simulation, and Bill Hader gets knocked down, sorry, Alpha 5 gets knocked down, and he just gets up and goes, ay. It's a big line for the original Alpha 5 in the series. Said differently, but I'm like, okay, at least they let him say it in some capacity. I'll let that one fly as well.
So we've been pretty harsh on this so far. Is there anything you do like about this?
There's just more things I want to tell you much I hate about it.
All right, I'll say that for later.
We'll get to that in a moment.
We'll end on something.
We'll end on something good. But one part that really fucking irked me was when they find the power coins and the LA riot come in because fucking kids are messing around in a quarry.
It's so weird. They
get in the van, and the van gets hit by a fucking train.
Oh yeah.
And then you get the cutscene to them all in bed at home, all fine, hunky dory, no issues, and they're all super strong. Tell me that fucking story.
So convenient. They're like, oh, I don't remember. I feel fine.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care if you got hit by a train, and you now have superpowers, and everything's fine. I want to know how.
That could be an early team-up movie, like one of them's trapped or something, and they help.
Yeah, and they
help
him
out, and then they're like, "Oh, we can we can work together. We're strong.
Something's happened.
We care if this person dies because we saved him."
Exactly. But no, you get the faith of Black of, oh, we're awake, we're fine. Did the movie just jump?
And it's honestly not. It's not a runtime thing because the movie's 2 hours long. Like that's appropriate. You could have had another 10 minutes there.
Because then the issue I found was later on when after they get back together because they're like, yo, something's weird. We're all strong. We can jump high and shit. And they make the jump across the chasm.
Yeah.
That little. And they all just start jumping across. Poor CGI. You fucking know they're on strings. It's really portrayed poorly. And you get Jason jump across, and as he lands and rolls on his stomach, spits up blood.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, you jump across, take a bit of a stumble, and you start spitting up blood, but you get hit by a train, and you're sitting there just fucking throwing hands at the air because he woke up after a nightmare or something shit.
Yeah.
You got hit by a fucking train! Why is
I don't
that
disagree
no
with you. I have no logical.
I have no logical
retort.
Think about why. You're just like, fucking. So that part really fucking affected me. Like, just. Let me just calm down for a sec. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I can badly say before we fucking move on.
The cast is fine. It's all very fine. The chemistry is fine. It's just not as believable as it wants to be.
It's just the writing of the movie.
Yeah, the writing's not good at all. There's just so many they'll get it moments.
Yeah. So
Like Rita letting old mate live when she just had her there and she could have killed him, and Rita would have known that if she killed that girl that night, they wouldn't have been able to morph because they weren't a team.
yeah.
The deal is so stupid.
So the only
You would find it eventually. Just I don't know, man. That was a huge plot hole for me.
it's another big thing was when they killed Billy.
Yeah.
When Rita has them all at the docks and is getting information about where the crystal is, and then just kills Billy. And at that moment you go, yeah, he's not dead, but
Yeah,
he's not dead.
He's all right.
He's dead, but he's not dead. You know something's going to happen.
And that's why they have to put in the soundtrack, that super sad Stand By Me.
Yeah.
I was laughing my
ass off. Oh, yeah, you just killed the fucking black autistic kid. Good on you.
Yeah.
So is this supposed to make me feel something
woke.
more? Because I know you're going to bring him back, because it's the Power Rangers.
We've seen him in the trailers at the end.
We know he's in the big fight.
You're not smart enough.
And then, yeah, you bring in the fucking whole Zordon sacrificing himself for fucking...
And I honestly just think everyone behind this didn't care. They didn't care about Power Rangers. They didn't care about a cohesive movie or anything. They were just like, the Hunger Games did this, this, and this. We're going to do that, and hopefully the same people will watch it and spend money.
The only person I could say cared about this movie was Bryan Cranston himself.
Yeah.
Because he played two villains in the original Power Rangers series.
And it was probably really cool for him.
So it's sort of like he's been there since the OG.
Yeah.
He'd probably take it pretty well to be able to come in and play a bigger character, granted for not much time, but to be an impactful character to the series. But yeah, everyone else is just kids are just looking for an acting debut, I guess.
Right, and it worked for two of them and ruined the other ones.
Yep, there's not much else to them there.
The director, I looked up the director. This is his only major feature, really. He hasn't done anything since, didn't do anything before, really. I don't know where they found him, to be honest.
Yeah, that's... I don't know.
But it's just like he didn't have to do much. It was all
there wasn't
effects. Like the fucking goopy mess at the end. They just do that in the computer.
The goopy mess. They just. I think they just took that. All right, his name is Goldar, so obviously we just have to make it all about gold.
Yeah, they took it so fucking literally.
Literally, just yelled gold. Rita is sitting in a jewelry shop, just yelling gold.
Gold, and then she eats necklaces.
Starts eating gold, and you're like, hey, we don't need to take the name that literally. He just in the show, he just has gold. He just made out of gold.
He's just like, he's a bit.
It's just his armor, and he's called Goldar. You don't have to make him out of pure fucking gold. Doesn't fucking make sense either. Look, I'll be honest now. After this time, I think I'm out of shit things to say about this movie.
All right. We'll do an edit. No one will notice.
Yep, we'll edit this now. Maybe we'll leave it in and you get the click.
So I've made my piece. Like Elizabeth Banks is fantastic. I think she's just the right amount of camp, and whatever the fuck they were trying to point this at, the Harry Potter market or whatever. I don't know if I made that joke earlier, but I don't know. It's very Bellatrix Lestrange and shit, isn't it? Like
fucking Lestrange for sure. Yeah,
there's literally no reason to watch this. We watched it because we knew we liked Power Rangers, and
yeah,
I heard it was fine, and I thought I would think it was fine, and you would loathe it. But we both just don't like it.
Yeah, it's not enough, and
it's not worth hating.
No, like you don't want to hate this movie, but you don't want to say that you like this movie in any way. You kind of just want to look at it and go, look, at least they tried.
Yeah,
they're still going with Power Rangers shit. There's still the TV show going. Granted, there's still on new shit, and it still just caters to the young early morning programming of kids before they go to school.
Yeah,
which is fine. That's still their market, and they're still hitting it perfectly fine.
Yeah.
The merchandise is there. They're still making millions and millions every year on the merchandise, so they can do that shit. And at least you can say, well, you gave it a shot, you fucked it up, time to try again.
Yeah. But even for us, like for the older generation, just make a PS4 game. Make a good Spider-Man-esque PS4 game.
That's a good fucking point.
Make an Arkham City, but with Power Rangers.
How haven't they made a decent Power Rangers
game? Because then that's
game?
us. We don't have to go to the movies.
No, we could just play the game, and if it had good cinematics...
I think that's what they should do.
If it had great cinematics, you go, I would just talk about the cinematics. That was a great movie in itself in the game.
Yeah.
I think the only games that they're bringing out are just mobile games that is just PvP, just fight with one character against
and that's
another
just kids on their mum's iPad anyway.
100%.
Hitting
I know because I have it on my fucking phone.
microtransactions.
And you know what? I was bored of that game too.
Yeah.
But give us a fucking good AAA game where it would be hard to make.
You can get a movie out of this property. You can get a game out of this property. You just have to give it to someone who gives a fuck.
100%. You just, as with anything, anytime anyone goes into a movie that is based on an older franchise, any old license, and trying to reinvigorate it again, make it more relevant with new age, you have to fucking.
And I'll give the Transformers series. It did that. Granted, they're all fucking terrible movies. They're awful. Whatever the fuck they're doing with those, I don't know. But at least it's become its own beast. And
I don't know how they're still going with those ones, but they are shit movies, but they're not bad movies.
No, they're except for that they get the last one was like 3.5 hours.
I haven't seen the last one yet, and for good fucking reason why. But you're doing this. You got to give it to someone who has credibility.
Yeah.
And
you can't just give it to some dude.
You can't just go, we need a director. Well, I'll do it. Yeah, right, you can do it.
Have you seen Transformers? I've seen some of the second one. That'll do. Because that's the ending is just like someone saw some of Transformers and was like, I can do that.
Yeah, basically.
I can give that a stab.
You're like, yeah, well, most of it's going to be CGI, so technically I'm not directing much.
Yeah, no.
But I really want a good Power Rangers movie to come back.
Yeah,
because they did good with the original Power Rangers movie when they took the TV shows and going, all right, let's make a movie. It was older, so it was still good. You watch it now and it's like, okay, it was shit, but it still made sense.
Yeah,
and I want that in modern Power Rangers. Yeah. I want it based on the original characters because they will always hit the hardest for any Power Rangers fan. They will always be the characters that everyone knows of.
Yeah.
And because I think even in this movie, you have a lot of characteristic changes to each character. So you could go into this hearing that the original characters are in this movie, but the casting is so different and they've given them different personas. Like Jason and Kimberly may be the only ones that sort of stick true to their original characters. Jason being the leader, very smart, wiser, tough, sort of jock-like. Kimberly just being the nicer, has a edgier side to her. But everyone else is completely flipped. Like you've got Trini, who originally was just of Chinese descent and just a lovely girl. Zach, in the original show, was the African-American sort of character needed for the show, who was also... Basically, they were all just karate people in the original show.
Yeah. But they were distinct from each other.
Very distinct. They had their own different characteristics. Even Billy. Billy was, in the original show, he was still a nerd, very nerdy, but he was just a nerdy white guy who wasn't the best at fighting, but learned from Jason and Kimberly and Trini and Zach, learned how to fight properly. But he was that nerd in the group that knew how to do all the technical stuff.
Yeah.
And you still get those in these movies, but they change them around. So they make Zach now they cast him as as Chinese American, and Trini having the Asian name, but being portrayed by what looked more Hispanic.
She was Hispanic.
Yeah, and
they changed it around, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
They're not distinct enough. You're not going to remember their characters because it doesn't fucking matter. They're not good enough to remember.
No, it's not.
Except maybe Billy.
Yeah,
Billy's funny.
This is hilarious. I'm fine with that change. He was fucking hilarious, and that's the good thing. Okay, the good things you can take away from this movie is that Billy was amazing. RJ Sala played that brilliantly. Dacre Montgomery was brilliant. He did portray Jason Scott very well, keeping that Aussie pride going. But I think those two, Elizabeth Banks and
I don't think Naomi Scott's good in this.
Yeah, well,
I like her a
I wouldn't
lot.
say distinct enough.
Yeah, no, she's not that great.
Not enough characteristics going on in them. So that's. There's not much else good you can say.
Because I want to say, like, they need to focus on the characterization more, but they tried to do that in this by making it an hour and a half of just the characters.
Like they
didn't do a good enough job because you don't care.
You can have an origin movie, but not this long.
No,
an origin movie does not need to be like that in depth into the origin of everyone, like, and not show anything good.
Yeah,
like
you don't establish in that enormous period of time. You don't establish enough to justify it at all.
No, you don't get enough.
It's like, okay, she's in a foster home. Maybe she's a bit sad. Like, oh, he's getting bullied. I think, like, it's never.
You don't like, feel enough.
No, you don't. Yeah,
because they're trying to just throw in that they are just these 5 angsty teenagers with attitude to now defend the earth, and you're not feeling it. You're not feeling it out of anyone that you can sort of resonate with any of these characters in whatsoever.
There's no threat because it's just sort of in the background.
Yeah, the threat is looming, but it's looming coincidentally at the same time.
Yeah.
So
it's not looming to anyone except these 5 people. So it's not really looming. As us, the audience, we're watching it just going, they're going to win.
Yeah. And
it does not matter.
Yeah. It was always going to be an issue from the start. And even with the ending, and they threw in the post-credits scene, which I don't know if you stuck around. You didn't.
I
had no idea.
Absolutely did not.
All right. So post-credits scene rolls around after they all go back to school, back to detention and all that. Shit's just simmering down, and you throw to an empty chair. I'm just going off memory because I didn't watch the end of it last night to the scene. Saying that, so there's an empty desk with a green jacket over it, and saying Tommy Oliver is going to be joining class.
Yeah, right. Right.
Tommy Oliver being the Green Ranger from the original series, played by Jason David Frank, who is my absolute favorite fucking person in the Power Rangers series. You can see I made my own fucking dedicated frame shrine to him. I fucking love that dude. And then that movie cuts out. So instantly in the sequel, you think you're going to get the Green Ranger introduced into the lineup.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to happen. There were rumors before they all got cancelled that they were going to make Tommy Oliver be portrayed by a female. And instantly you go, haven't we changed enough? Have we not fucked Power Rangers enough? This is just going to fuck.
Gotta stay woke, man.
You got to stay woke, but it can't have it. And I'm glad that it's been cancelled now.
So we'll finish up on this movie, and then we'll do a little brief what we would like for the next one, and then we'll finish everything.
Yeah.
Basically, this movie, Saban's Power Rangers 2017, is a very bad movie. It's poorly made. It's poorly edited. It's acted fine, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. But it's not for anyone.
No.
I can't imagine anyone finding this particularly interesting.
Basically, if you didn't see this at the cinema, you don't need to see it now.
Oh, God, no.
There is no rush to go out and buy it. You should not even stream it. Don't even waste your internet data on it.
Listen to us talk about it. Tell us how great we are. Tell us how funny we are.
Basically, by you listening to this podcast, you could have watched the movie, but we've basically told you to not watch it. So the time you could have wasted watching the movie, you've wasted on us, and we love you for it. So don't watch the movie. Even if you are a Power Rangers fan, trust me, you're not missing anything.
There's even less reason if you're a Power Rangers fan.
It's a much less reason. It'll make you a lot less angry to just not watch it. Just know that it's out there in the world.
It is.
But
it's free if you can stream it. But
yeah, just throw a blind eye and just pretend it's not there.
All right. Yeah, I'm good with that. Just quickly, so if we're in the next crack of it, I haven't been saying young adult as an insult. I think that's fine. I like the Hunger Game movies. Yeah. I like the Harry Potter movies. I'm fine if the next Power Rangers movie is that again, but they have to they have to do some editing. They have to do some trimming. Like,
Yeah, there's got to be a lot more thought into it.
half an hour, 45 minutes of them being misfits and then coming together.
Yeah.
And then you have to have a better threat. You have to have more.
Yeah, no, I agree. I completely agree. It is always only going to ever work by staying in this young adult place. It has to be done that way, but it's then how you make the movie from there, and it has to be close to the source material, but not so close that it's the exact same, but enough so people go, okay, it is modern, but it does make sense.
Yeah,
I think it needs to be less alien, because this movie was very, very biased towards the term alien.
Yeah,
and
for no reason.
I know that technically, yes, it is, I guess, an alien race, but it was never portrayed that far as an alien. This was legit given to you as aliens.
Yeah.
And I hated how much I referred to it, even being referred to the command center as the spaceship. I'm like, just please call it the command center, because it's what I want. I want it to be known as the command center. So there is so much more that they can do, but it's a hard concept to tackle in this day and age, touching something so old that was made for children.
Yeah.
To try and target young adults, 20s and such, people that know it, it will be 100% a hard task, but 100% someone can fucking do it.
Yeah, it just has to be more interesting than this
No,
one.
it needs to be really thought out. A story needs to be set where it wants to go.
Don't worry about a franchise.
That's the worst mistake. I think they
fucking
can
make a movie.
Never think about a franchise. Just take it that one movie at a time. Leave that brief window at the end where it could lead into something.
Have a post-credit, sure.
Put a foot in the door of being like, this is where it could go if it does well.
Yeah.
But focus on the movie. Just be like, this is what it's gonna go for. This is everything we want to do is this movie. Anything after, we'll get to that after, but we're not going to start it now and then make another one, because it's just going to be the same recipe of disaster like this one was. They blatantly said, we want to make 5, 6, 7 movies.
Yeah, when you're starting from there,
when you've started
a problem, yeah.
Hold on, are you sure it's going to do
Slow
good?
down, yeah.
So it can be done. I'm hoping it's done well. Just put the time to find the right person to create it. Have the best writers possible. Fuck, even take people that had hands in the original series.
Yeah. Just people who give a shit.
Just get the opinion of those people that know the shit. Even do it like you have in the show. Bring back one of the original characters. Bring back Jason David Frank, Amy Jo Johnson, Austin St. John, to have like a cameo of actually being like, I was an original Ranger, and
they can be like
all this shit.
Whatever the Zordon of this one. They
can
teach them and train them. Whatever, I don't know.
Something like that. You can do a story like that and it'll work, but just got to think about it and really fucking...
Just got to balance it better. There's no balance in this movie.
No.
There has to be this much Power Rangers, this much setup, this much camp, this much stakes.
Without a doubt.
Anyway, Hollywood, call us, because...
Yeah, I think we can definitely call this here. So, end of the day, don't watch this movie. It's not worth the watch. Us bullshitting on it for this long should be enough to tell you it was not good.
We have given it so much more time than it deserves.
No, I didn't want to give it this much time, but it was making me angry, and I had to fucking say everything on my chest because I didn't want to rewatch it again, and I had to, and I did, and it's fresh in my mind, so I want to fucking say everything. But hopefully, you guys, if you have seen it, you probably agree with us. It would be interesting to know if you didn't, if you did like this movie in any way.
I've never seen anyone talk about this. Like anyone I know.
No one blatantly goes out of the way and goes, "Oh, have you seen that Power Rangers movie? Yeah, it was pretty good." Yeah, no one fucking says that. So yeah, I think this is enough to say this movie just flopped hard, and even I myself do not like this movie. So
not a good movie.
Yeah, not a good movie. All right, well, thank you guys for making it through episode 2 of the podcast. As said, the response we've gotten has been fucking...
It's been awesome, man.
We really
keep sending me those screenshots. I live for that.
Screenshot away.
Awesome. People have been sending me the Spotify screenshots, and it just makes my heart so full.
Yeah, the honestly, we just did this because we fucking love movies, and it is great to see people getting on board. We have noticed people listening in the US and the UK. If you're listening to episode 2, I want to fucking know who you are, because that's fucking hectic.
That's awesome. And if you can understand us, because we're fucking...
Yeah, we're pretty on board with the point that you're only
bastards.
listening to it because of our accent. And
I'm
if
alright
that's the
with that,
case, I'm fucking fine with that. We'll make a podcast just for you if you want to, just to hear us talk or just say random slang words and Aussie shit. But no, guys, thank you so much for listening again. As said, you can still find us on the Anchor website. We are now available on a lot more sites as it's been distributed, so you can find us now on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. There's a few other places on the web on the website that you can find. Generally, most people are going to go on Spotify anyway. But
yeah.
Any recommendations you guys have, do send them across.
Yeah, that would help a lot, actually.
Yeah, it does come to the point where we don't know what the fuck we're going to do.
So if there's something you want to hear, please do not hesitate to send it to us, because we're open, man.
If you think it's got a good talking point and we can shit on it or really fucking jizz over it, we'll fucking gladly put in the time for it. So, yeah, I think we can sign off on that and just say thank you all.
I've been Jack.
I've been Adam.
Thanks for listening.
You like that.